everyone, and welcome back to Red Sand Rising. I am Charlie, or CheesyGMing, as your GM for this adventure always, and with me are my great friends and players.
Hello there, my name is Elias, and as always I'll be playing the flamboyant dwarf Giovanni, kineticist who places a lot of value on fashion and beauty.
Hi everyone, I'm Faye, and I will be playing Sappho, our resident bard.
My name is Peter, and I will be playing the Fungus Leshy, who is also a ranger and likes to bonk things with his hammer.
Hello, and I am Sylvia. I will be playing, as always, our Kurdic wizard goblin, Jiji.
And our lovely party is back after a very hard fight, because last we left off, our Sandpoint adventurers fought against a group of flaming skeletons, and after a long and fiery combat with the addition of some beautiful combination of moves and tactics, the party were left in a secret chamber where the floor has countless Thessalonian runes and bright gem-like markings that seemed to remind Jiji of the beads the party had previously found. What do you do in this chamber?
I mean, I don't think I talked about it last time, but I will definitely bring up this resemblance to the gems to the party. I'm like, don't these, markings on the ground look like those beads we found earlier? Like the ones that I was identifying. And I bring them out of my inventory and show them to everyone.
Well, Sappho has not been into the room before, because she has stayed the whole time outside in safety. Will actually join.
And I'm like, look here, and all these runes. Can you read them?
And Sappho will directly go, into a squat to, be able to view the ground better, and just be like, could you make maybe some extra light just so that I can see them better?
Oh yeah, I think my light spell is not up anymore. So I will just recast my light on Sappho.
Perfect, thank you. And then Sappho will go to town reading all the Thessalonian that's in here.
So this will be a good opportunity to introduce a subsystem we're going to use in this campaign, the research subsystem. This chamber is big. It has a lot to cover, and you have a lot you can learn about this place. However, it's going to be quite more focused on specific skills. With the research subsystem, how it's going to work is you can use an hour, each of you, to examine this chamber. And you use a roll of one of a few skills that I will present to you. If you critically succeed your roll, you're going to gain 2 research points. If you regularly succeed your roll, you're going to gain 1 research point. If you fail your roll, you gain no research points, and if you critically fail, you lose a research point. Each of you can either roll one of the main skills, or alternatively, if you're feeling like the skills are not really relevant to you, you can still dedicate the hour to help someone else, and you can use a different skill to help them that might be more relevant to your character. Essentially, there is, for each amount or certain amount of research points you gain, you will learn something new about this chamber. However, once you have rolled all of that, once you've already tried to figure it out and you learned all you could learn, there would need to be a significant change for you to be able to gain more information later on. So essentially, you can try to make a single roll in this place. You're exploring this place for an hour, and whatever you gain is how many research points you're going to have. And if something changes, for example, if at some point you gain another level of training in one of the skills you're using, this is a significant change, you can try again. Or if you're learning some new information about something that might be relevant, you can try to roll again about something here.
All right. Sounds good.
Would you like to do that before or after your healing? Because you're also quite injured. So are you taking your time to rest before, or are you examining the room before?
Oh, Giovanni is having like a straight up panic attack right now. Like the last thing on his mind is like examining anything in this room that is not his own appearance and his own wounds. Like the order of priority is kind of like Giovanni's appearance, then Giovanni's physical well-being, and then any other kind of investigation that might be possible here.
I'm doing pretty fine, so I was going to the investigation, but I feel like Tipp and Giovanni might want to patch up.
Yeah, I would definitely patch up before I do any investigation here. I'm at half health, so would like to increase that a bit.
Sappho thankfully got healed by other people and through the in-between rest that we did. So Sappho would just join Jiji on the floor, trying to figure out the connection between the beads, the runes, what's written here in Thessalonian, and all that good stuff.
Are the runes only on the ground or also covered in the walls?
Both. This whole chamber is covered in runes.
Let's investigate then.
Yeah, that is also why it takes an hour to do so. Like for examining the whole room, it's going to take an hour for each person who is examining it or helping with it.
I mean, if both Giovanni and Tipp want to patch up, we can take I think it's 10 minutes, right?
It depends. Yes, it's 10 minutes to do so. I'm sorry.
Or like the treat wounds or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking about the immunity. It will take you 10 minutes, yes.
I could still use those 10 minutes to identify the rest of the beads.
Yeah.
I mean, that might help with looking at whatever we see in the room.
Exactly, that's why
it's
connected, those 10
then
minutes,
it makes
and
sense.
then you can help me and Sappho afterwards.
I mean, Giovanni is hurt as well, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Giovanni's hurt the
So-
worst of us.
Do you want to treat yourself first and then me, and then we take 20 minutes?
Well, one thing I can do for sure for both of us is basically first grow a delicious, yummy fruit for both of us that heals each of us just 2d4 plus
Okay.
5. No, 2d4
I
plus
also
6.
still have 2 elixirs of life that I prepared for today.
So we can just both heal for that. And then we can also both get an Ocean Storm ability from me as well. So let me see. That's gonna be 2d8 of healing. So that's 14 from the fruit and 7 from
Nice.
the
Okay,
Ocean
I'm
Storm.
almost full health already, so I feel like I'm good for now, unless you have anything more. And the elixirs I would keep for more like emergency situations.
They're my alchemist elixirs. They'll decay at the end of the day.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll have one of those. Why
Right?
not?
That's why I'm very much bringing them up.
Okay.
Because...
Yeah. Okay. No, fair. I mean,
And we still have healing potions, like actual healing potions that keep longer.
yeah. I mean, how much does a elixir give?
It's 1d6 hit points.
Oh, okay. I mean, if I high
And
roll
you gain a bonus to saving throws and diseases.
for how long? For 10 minutes.
Just 10 minutes.
Okay.
I will use the rest of the 10 minutes to like treat wounds on myself and
Okay.
patch
Then
myself
I'll
up
just use one
completely.
of those elixirs.
Okay, then I'll deduct 1.
Mm-hmm. And I rolled 4. Okay, then that means I'm almost full health, and that's good enough for me now. And so those abilities don't really take too much time, right? Like a round or I guess 2 rounds, since it was 2 abilities. And then the elixir. So essentially, I don't really spend any time that is very relevant, and I can go immediately into research or helping.
I mean, I'd still like to identify the
beats.
beats.
Yeah, I mean,
and there's a
yeah.
second unidentified treasure that we still have. If you
Oh,
want
what's
to
that?
take a look. I think it was the bowl-like thing, but that was coming with the beats.
What kind of skills would I need for that?
Probably crafting, but
Haha.
DM.
I believe it was. You have multiple items that you can try to identify in your general collective. Some of them were magical and some of them were crafting, so it depends on what you're looking at. As for the bowl...
I don't think I'll be good at either, honestly, because both my Arcana and crafting is horrible.
It's identified already.
Okay.
But we have a couple more unusual objects.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have some items you can go over. One of the things you can really go into is the map that you found. So you want to dedicate some time to, like, you got a lot of information about the map, but if you want to, like, fully get all of the things, you can also get that. You can also try to identify that one as well.
What would I need for that? What skill?
For the map, it would also be crafting. If you would like to do something that is magical based, you have a... one of you has detect magic?
I'm pretty sure I do.
Yeah.
I think Jiji does. Yeah. So you would be able to differentiate the magical from the non-magical, essentially. So you would know that the longsword that you have, the unusual longsword, is magical. As well as there's an unusual object that you found in the armory. Like small items that looks like gems, sort of. 2 of them that looks the same. They are also magical. You would also have some of the consumables you found are also magical of nature. Maybe even all of your consumables that are unidentified are of magic nature. And then the map would be crafting.
So for the magic ones, I need Arcana.
It would be either Arcana, Nature, Occultism, or Religion. One of the magical options.
Oh yeah, true. I forget. Well, then I could actually have a go at it because my nature and religion are fine.
I could also, because I mean, I'm also not doing anything besides. I'll also take a magical thing and look at it through my occultism lens.
No problem. Just let me know what you're choosing to identify. So Jiji is going over the beads, right? Yes. So Jiji can give me a crafting roll to identify the beads.
Is it hidden or...
And then... it's hidden, yes, since every information would be hidden. You managed to identify one of the other beads you got. This is... The first one you found was a garnet bead. This one is a bit more of higher quality. This is a quality garnet bead. They look similar, but you see that they're like more... The garnet beads that you found before were worth around 5 gold pieces each. This one is of higher quality. It's worth 25 gold pieces. But also you're looking at those beads, and I'm going to ask you to give me a blind sense motive, essentially perception, for that roll. What are the others identifying?
I would probably go with a map because I think this was also written in Thessalonian on the map.
Yes,
and I feel like that's just my forte.
The map would be crafting.
Oh, the map was... yeah, then... What else? There was a lot of things that were magical and I am confused.
I would look at the sword.
That
The
fits the
sword.
tip.
Okay. So
Exactly.
Tipp is looking at the sword.
Um,
You can give me either of the rolls. Is Sappho going over any of the items? There are multiple consumables that are magical, and there is one piece of equipment, the small gems.
Oh, definitely looking at gems. They're shiny and beautiful. And maybe they contain some cool magic.
So
t-
you can give me a roll as well. So going one by one, I'm going to go back to what Jiji has rolled for the sense motive in a moment. Tippler, you identify this sword as a +1 cold iron longsword.
nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
And Sappho, you are identifying these small gem-like items in the equipment. They are both the same, and both of them are striking runes.
Oh, these seem
Ooh.
to be just holding them up And both to Giovanni and to... I think they'd be quite useful for the two of you. Because they should make your weapons just a little bit more powerful.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. I mean, I have 2 weapons, so I could actually use both of them, but...
I'm also eyeing them. Because I think the striking does apply
The only
to my
weapon I've
dagger.
ever carried was the ceremonial rapier that I carried to my sister's wedding, so I'm not really interested.
Well, I mean, we can always get more, since we got quite a bit of loot here that we can even sell for them. I mean, or we take the rune out of the sword that we found, because I'm not really good with long swords.
Though the rune that you found is not a striking rune. It's just a +1 potency rune.
Ah,
Striking increases the damage, whereas the +1 just adds to hit.
Yes.
okay.
Exactly.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. The +1 doesn't apply for me if I like cast my dagger with my focus spell, but the striking does because I get more damage on it, right? That's why the +1 is for me kind of useless, but for you it might be nice.
yeah, we can have a look, see what we get.
Going back to what Jiji tried to essentially remember, you managed to remember where you've seen something like that. It is true that this room is also kind of reminding it because of the shape and the colors, and it looks like it's made from the same material. But now that you're examining the beads, especially the new ones, the quality ones, a bit closer, you remember seeing a single door in this entire place that didn't have a handle, but a hole. And you ignored it because it wasn't a way you went to so far. But you remember, even for a moment, just seeing it in the side of your eye, the stone door had a hole in the fitting shape of these beads.
Where was the stone door that we didn't explore?
It was right in the beginning. You had to either go left to go towards the goat demon that you met, or right toward a small corridor, and there was a wooden door which is quite close to you on the south way, and in the northern part there was a stone door that you avoided for now. Yeah, Jiji specifically walked next to it, so you're the one who actually walked into the corridor.
Ah, right. I just peeked around to see if there was like danger there, but then we decided to go the other way, so we didn't spend any time looking at these.
Effectively, the only person who actually went next to that door is Jiji.
Yeah. But I mean, right now, we are focused on this room, so I guess we spent that 1 hour. I look at the party. So we hunker down and try to figure out what's going on here.
Yes. I want to actually translate everything that I see. So, I'm not leaving before that. No, I'm not.
So, you guys are spending an hour to examine this room. Your main roles for research in this room would either be Arcana or Occultism. If you have a specific lore that might be relevant, you can roll that, or ask to roll that as well. But these are the major ones. If none of them are fitting for you, you can help someone else, essentially give them an aid roll, and you can use a larger variety of skills here, but do describe to me how you're helping them and with what skill.
So since my Arcana and my Occultism aren't great, I have Sandpoint lore to offer. Given that this place is in Sandpoint, I feel like that's relevant.
Not for the reason you stated, but for other reasons it is, yes.
Okay, fine.
I feel like more Thessalonian lore would be relevant.
Yeah. But yeah, I have Sandpoint lore, and that's actually quite good. I'm an expert in that, so I'll use that, please.
All right, and are you rolling on your own, or are you rolling to help someone?
I would actually roll on my own here because I'm pretty good with that. So I think it's fair to do that.
Perfect.
So blind roll. There we
Yes.
go.
It is all blind rolls,
Mhm.
yes. No problem.
I would help
Then-
someone who is using the occultism or arcana.
I'd be using Arcana.
And if possible, basically, like, Giovanni would be using his knowledge of, like, nature and everything that is, like, just natural to be like, okay, you can ignore this because this has nothing to do with anything, like, arcane or occult, because this is just natural stuff. This is just natural stuff. Oh, this maybe you can focus on. Like, that's kind of the approach I would help with.
I'd be going the occult route, and I think Sylvia said that Gigi's going with the Arcana route, so you can just choose who you want to.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll help Sappho then with that.
Okay, you can roll your
Okay,
aid
that's a
open.
16 on the 8, so it's for 27 total with my nature aiding.
That's a critical success for your nature aid, which means you get a +2 for Sappho.
That is beautiful, and I'll be rolling occultism blind.
Perfect. So, a little more explanation about the research subsystem. Your research point collections will give you either leads, clues, or concrete information to use or to learn. Essentially, you can maybe, depending on how much you rolled and your successes amount, you will get more and more information the more you try to examine this from different directions. It can be something as small as a person to talk to that might be actually helpful and can give you more information, and it can be actual connections being made. You are all spending an hour examining. Sappho is reading all she can read. And there's a lot here in Thessalonian. How's Giovanni assisting as well? What are you essentially doing to help with nature?
Oh, just basically like pointing a bunch of stuff out that is just like natural and has no connection to the thing to like make sure Sappho can really focus on what's actually relevant.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so you hunker down and help like move away everything that might be red herrings of information or just something in the way that is a problem. Jiji, you're taking all of your knowledge as a wizard and your arcana knowledge, and you're looking around this place as well from the more magical perspective. And Tipp, you're connecting everything you can. This, as you've said, this place is in Sandpoint, but also you're trying to connect to what you already know in Sandpoint that exists that might be relative or related to what you see here. I can tell you that together you have collected 3 research points. And for that, I'm going to explain to you what information you learn. You managed to make multiple connections. The first thing that comes to mind, that's probably from Sappho going over the Thessalonian mostly, is this room is covered in runes. It's not even sentences per se, but it's just a lot of runes. And Thessalonian runes specifically is one of your languages and one of your major knowledge points. But if you're looking at this whole place and thinking, there is so much here, who might know even more than I do that I can refer to and ask them about it? You are immediately reminded of a local sage called Brother Quink, who is the most knowledgeable source about Thessalonian ruins and lore in town. And if anyone would know more about this than you would, it's gonna be him. So with that, you guys got a lead. The further thing you got from like sitting together and talking about where you might have seen some of the things here, what it reminds you. Have you ever encountered anything in town that can remind you of this specific room? You gather your information together and you realize that for many years, there is a ruined tower in town that is known as the Old Light, that was thought to have been an ancient collapsed lighthouse. But now that more has been learnt about ancient Thessalonian, also kind of thanks to you all for finding the last Thessalonian dungeon, the Old Light has been revealed to have once been known as the Hellstorm Flume, which you would also immediately remember appeared on your map on where Sandpoint is. The Hellstorm Flume was a powerful weapon used by Runelord Alasnist to protect her nation's eastern border with that of Runelord's Koizug, which we've already encountered markings of their maps before, members of a different nation. You would know that despite its name, the Hellstorm Flume has no direct association with hell itself. It was called for its ability to emit flume searing fire at extraordinary range to blast approaching armies with a devastating inferno. Where you are at the moment is a place or a location called the Hellstorm Focus, and it is connected directly to that old light place that is now known to be, or used to be, a weapon. You get essentially 2 leads. The first lead is Brother Quink, which is someone you might be able to gather some more information about because they know a lot of Thessalonian ruins. And the second one is the Old Lighthouse, or what used to be the Old Lighthouse, which is in Sandpoint as well. That's somehow essentially why I said Sandpoint lore would be relevant, because that will be the connection being made by Tipp. You still don't know what's the use or purpose of this place specifically, but you know it's directly connected and probably not active at the moment for whatever it is, because it has been buried here since Earthfall with the rest of the place. But this room is connected deeply to the past of Sandpoint.
Well, the rest of the party would hear Sappho just in between muttering and in frustration, and just like, Jesus, this is not actual sentences. It's just runes. Oh. But maybe if we take a lot of notes and transcribe them to some paper, we might be able to ask Brother Quink about this. He should still be in town, as far as I know. And he's far more knowledgeable when it comes to the stuff here.
But if this is really located to like the light, I mean, it's not a lighthouse, but what we know that like the old tower, if this really is connected, this could be really dangerous if this information falls in the wrong hands. Like if we are right and this is like the focus, that sounds like it could control that thing, no?
Yes, but
with how old it is, it's questionable whether it even still works, really.
I mean, this and
runes and magic don't decay, really, do they?
Well, but the tower itself is so destroyed. Or
I
at
mean,
least
we
partially.
can only hope that. I guess a GM question is how destroyed is the tower? Because I have no picture of it in my mind.
I just assumed, I'm sorry.
You would know. Oh, it said that the place has been collapsed lighthouse.
Yeah, but like,
so you know it's destroyed mostly. Okay. No one uses it as a lighthouse anymore. It's more like ruins.
So it's like the center of a tower, but the rest of it is collapsed. Okay.
Yes.
Then that is fairly ruined and probably not functional anymore.
I mean, it's also we won't know how dangerous it is or how to protect ourselves from it, or if maybe these goblins were trying to indeed invoke something here that has to do with this. Unless we figure some things out, and I'd rather do that and risk it in this case than be surprised by it and not have us Sandpoint anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should definitely bring this up to, well, some people so they know it exists and they can prepare in case it activates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, historically, the people here have not been that great at handling their own stuff, but it's always worth a shot.
Hey, we are here. I think we are pretty
Yeah,
great.
I mean, excluding us, we are amazing at handling our own stuff and other people's stuff.
Yeah, I think we're trying to make up for the rest of the town. So
Very successfully so, might I add.
yeah, I think we've done all right so far. So I'll just let me grab some more paper, and Sappho would continue to be on the floor and like transcribe the markings in here and how it is in relation to each other, to even just give when we meet up with Rodard, that he gets an idea of like how interesting is it, and because we probably will need to take him down here.
Oh, and I was looking at these like stone thingies on the ground, they're like gem-like. And we had these gems earlier, but I remembered there was another door that maybe might fit these.
You mean like a key?
You mean like a secret?
I mean, it
door?
was a stone door. It was not secret at all, but closed.
Well,
And I
something that
pointed
would
the
hide
direction.
some.
we can try and see if they fit.
I mean, if they get opened with gems, there needs to be something more, like what they would call valuable. Maybe it's more books.
And I guess
Maybe it's-
as we leave the room, I like first stick my head up
maybe
as
it's
like,
art.
enemies? Is anyone around? Are we still alone in this dungeon?
You can give me a perception roll.
That is a good idea.
As I'm assuming
Yeah.
you guys are back to exploration activities.
I'm definitely checking out the
so please
surroundings.
remind me what they are.
Since we spent like an hour inside this room, which could have been plenty of time for anyone to like follow us in.
What are the rest of you doing for exploration activities as you're back to go to look around?
Yeah, I'm also looking out for any danger.
You can give me a roll as well.
I will scout, so we have +1 initiative in case anything ambushes us.
Perfect.
I will just capture the image of how capable my friends are at doing these things, so I can later on maybe put it into a nice epic poem or into a song. I don't know yet, but that's Sappho's just observing her friends and being deeply, deeply entranced by their skills.
Beautiful.
So like, if my mental image of this place is correct, maybe if we open this door here with the keys we found, we could get back that way?
Sure. Well, I walk towards the door right in front of me, which is opposite of the secret door that we entered.
True.
And I have a look if I can... Well, I
Is
guess
it locked at all?
first I wouldn't... Well, before I even touch it, I want to have a look if there's anything unusual about it that looks like a trap or anything dangerous about it. Like, whatever... Like, is there anything about this door that shouldn't be part of a door?
So, essentially, I'm going to say that's what you rolled for
Mhm.
now. Both you and Gigi are peeling your eyes out to see if there's anything odd. You see that this door specifically, as you're looking at it, doesn't have a keyhole, but it does have a handle, so it's not like it's completely unopenable. However, you're looking around, and both you and Gigi, you can see below the door. There's light in this whole place. And something looks odd. Something is a tiny bit different. And you're trying to figure out what's different from what you've seen before. No one was here. No one has been in this chamber where you are. And you and Gigi both come to the same conclusion. The light that comes under the door is now in a different angle, as if something inside the chamber moved.
the door itself seems safe.
Is
Yep.
it a
Door itself
flickering
seems
light?
completely fine. You don't believe it's a light that's just flickering. You believe there's a shadow that's being cast in a different way than it was before.
Okay, so it doesn't look like fire.
Yeah, that's my association because we had the flaming sword and the combusted enemies.
It looks... I'm gonna say with your rolls, both of you come to the same conclusions. Like the whole place has general lighting that is kind of a magical light that is just here for the whole time. It looks like the lighting in here is not any more intense like you had with the flaming sword. It seems to be with the same volume as the lighting that you have next to you. The only difference that you can think of is there's something in this room that used to be in one position and now it's in another, meaning something is alive in that room.
I don't like that. I mean, I think there was 2 entrances to this. What's the plan here? I think there might be something alive in there. I whispered to Sappho because she's standing right next to me.
Yeah, I also pointed out to Giovanni, who's standing next to me.
I mean, if it's alive in there now, and then it doesn't matter which way we go, it will still likely be alive in there, right?
And
So
we should really secure this place if we want to come back and do more research on the room.
Yeah.
I mean, and if we're now prepared, then we can just, I'll already start with everyone's favorite poem, and then we'll all be a bit more ready.
Then let's go and unalive it. And I open the door.
Beautiful.
I wanted to say that I would have loved to start with a courageous anthem.
Yeah, I think that.
Oh,
you can
I thought
still
that
do
was implied. I thought that was implied.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understood that. So essentially you're doing I'm going to say it this way. You're preparing for whatever is inside here. I'm going to describe that in a minute. But please tell me, what is your essentially preparation turn as you're preparing before you open the door? So it can't be anything like already attacking, but it can be, I'm pulling out my weapons, I'm casting this spell, I'm doing this. So please tell me what you're doing before Tipp opens the door.
Well?
I would have both my weapons ready.
Since you mentioned casting a spell, an attacking spell doesn't work, right? Because I need a target for that.
True. I would also say that opening a door and having both... actually, if it's part of your preparation, you're taking a weapon out and then the last action will be opening the door, yes.
As I said, Sappho will just start with a courageous anthem so that everyone's just a little bit more prepared. And will just step once past Jiji so that, scared of this place. What if this door will close in front of her for whatever reason, that she's not, singled out in a room?
I would also say, since you're preparing for this, you can tell me what you're using for initiative. So, for example, if you're using a spell, you can use your Arcana for initiative. If you're defending, you can use, or opening the door, you can maybe use your Athletics for initiative. Yes. Because you're aware that you're going to go into fighting and you know that there's something there, tell me what you're doing.
I'd love to use my Arcana. I'm basically readying a spell.
And I sort of halfway dash into the door, so it's Athletics.
Yep. Perfect.
Giovanni just kind of channels his elemental aura around him that enables him to shape water and plants to his will to be prepared for any kind of combat popping up, and with that would also use basically an elemental blast attack roll as initiative.
Yeah, you can also
getting ready to blast the kinetic energy.
You can also position yourselves in the places where you would be once Tipp is opening the door, because you are getting ready and this creature is not opening the door for you. So you have the full advantage here. It's like you're fairly certain the creature on the other side is aware of you because it moved as response to you being here. So you're not surprising it, but it's not surprising you, and you get a full round of doing things before and preparing for that.
All right.
Sappho would, because I've already said it, she's reciting poems to just really encourage her friends. I would say that is a performance.
Yeah, I'll go with that, absolutely. And roll your initiatives. As I'm going to describe what happens, or what you see at least, once Tipp is opening the door.
That's a 23 for my initiative.
Nice. You all roll initiative. Let me describe what you see as Tipp opens the door. In front of you, there is a 7-foot-tall statue of a bat-winged, vaguely humanoid bull with gold-colored horns standing in the southwest corner of this room. It is holding a massive axe that seems to be part of the statue. It's not like a specific weapon that it's holding. It's connected to the statue. And it is holding not holding their action, but waiting, because they sensed movement and they have been waiting for anyone to approach. So you open the door to see this massive bull statue looking directly at you, but you guys came prepared. Starting initiative is going to be Jiji. What do you do?
All right, I want to do a recall knowledge.
Yes,
Figure out
please.
if it's elemental, I guess, resistances and weaknesses. And specifically, I want to figure out if fire is useful or not.
Okay, you can give me Arcana or Crafting.
Oh. I can do crafting. That sounds great.
Yeah. Sometimes crafting can be recall knowledge.
I mean, it makes sense for a statue.
Great.
It looks very stony to me. That's why I'm leaning not. But
Remind me your question. Does fire does damage? That was a question?
yeah, it's elemental resistances or weaknesses, however much you give me basically for one roll. But if I only get one, it would be fire.
That's a good specification. How I would do it would be, for a success you get 1, for a critical success you will get all, for a critical failure you get 1 that is false. So it will these will let you know exactly or generally where you're at. You recall knowledge. Fire is not extra nor less damage on this creature.
If it's normal damage, then I will cast indeed Floating Flame on it.
Yeah. And I will roll a basic reflex for our guy.
And I believe he takes damage either way.
Yes, he does. And that's a failure, so they get full damage.
Great.
Fantastic. You see it works. Yeah, you understand that you succeeded. It works exactly as you expected.
Amazing. Because then I have a sustain spell that I can keep up the next rounds.
Yeah.
That's
perfect.
my turn.
Tippler.
Very good. As my first action, I will designate him as my hunted prey.
Yep.
So I can do more damage. And then I will step towards him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will twin takedown him. So for that I will use my hammer first. For a 21 to hit.
That would hit.
Nice. And that means regular damage for 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
12 points of bludgeoning damage.
And I will follow up with my fork for a 17 to hit.
17 would miss.
Okay, well, good enough. That's my turn.
Great. Following Tippler is going to be Giovanni.
Alright, I'll take a step forward to kind of have Tipp's back here and to be right behind Tipp, be able to kind of heal Tipp or assist Tipp if anything goes wrong. And also, of course, pull off the signature move of growing the protective rose bush right there up there next to Tipp. So if the creature were to hit Tipp, the rose bush would kind of interfere with those strikes and try to protect Tipp as well as possible.
Beautiful.
And that's my turn.
That's Giovanni's turn?
Yep.
Awesome. Following Giovanni is going to be Sappho.
Well,
You all rolled above this creature and prepared for it, so that's massive.
that's beautiful. So I'll just keep the courageous anthem up. Please, everyone remember to put it back on you. And then Sappho would also like to recall on like, what is that? And basically looking for anything that it is it's not weak to, or like where it's strong against, to call that out, because just thinking about everything she's ever learned of, our weapons breaking against a guardian statue of some sort.
You can give me Arcana or Crafting, please.
Can I use my usual cheat code of using bardic lore?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Because,
Bards be barding.
yes, we do be barding. Let's see.
This is a divine warden. It's a statue made to guard passage between places. You don't know divine warden of who or of what, and you can't figure out any resistances or immunities because you're not sure enough about it. You do know that this is a divine warden, but you don't gather any more information than that. You would know, though, I'm going to add, that it is a construct, as this is a statue.
Yes, I'm assuming... Oh. I don't know how good constructs are with getting distracted, but...
I would say, because this is more system knowledge than recall knowledge, constructs are often having some immunities and resistances and often are mindless, which would mean things, for example, like distracting them would not necessarily work. I'm saying because this is Pathfinder knowledge, not recall knowledge on this creature. So you would know if it's a construct, it is probably, likely mindless, and maybe distracting it would not work.
Okay. That's, we don't like that. Because I do love to, distract things. Oh, damn. Oh. And I think I'll just... In case it barrels through our front line, just raising a shield to help myself in case it comes close. That's the end of my turn.
Beautiful. It is now the turn of the Divine Warden. You very quickly brought it to already being badly injured. They are going to lift their axe and swing on Tipp, which is right adjacent to them. And they're going to try to hit you once with their axe, followed by stabbing you with their horns.
Rude.
Their first roll is a 27.
That would hit.
That is a hit. You take 13 slashing damage from the axe.
Ow.
Well, the rose bushes branches interfere with this mighty strike, and even though most of the rose bush is gone from the strike, a little bit is still standing.
Yeah.
And Tipp takes 0 damage, and the rose bush takes the full 13.
Beautiful.
Has 7 health left.
These rose bushes are coming in a clutch. So Tipp essentially didn't take the 13 damage. They are going to follow with trying to stab Tipp with their horns. The second attack with the horns is going to be a 24 to hit.
That also hits.
So, this is important because depending on the roll, let's see what happens. The total damage is 10 piercing damage. Is the rosebush taking all of it and still standing,
No, the
or is it
rosebush
gone?
is taking 7 of it, and then Tipp is taking the rest of it. So like the last remaining branches and like thorns of the rosebush kind of take the most of the blow, but some still hits Tipp.
Which leaves Tipp with, I believe, 3 hit points of piercing.
Yep.
Okay.
After hitting you with their horns, they are essentially lowering their head low enough to kind of harm you on your side of your body, and then they lift their head and they're trying to trip you by lifting the horns under your feet.
Interesting.
So their roll would be 18 to try to trip Tippler. It's going to be against your reflex DC.
Remind me how that works. It's my plus and then plus what again?
10. Your plus again plus 10.
Okay, so my reflex DC is 20, and so he does not trip me.
They fail. They fail to trip you. You are untripped.
AKA standing.
AKA standing, exactly. I'm gonna start saying untripped instead of standing all the time.
He is
now.
untripped over there. It's like what?
Just use it on daily language.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's Dave? Dave's the guy who is untripped over there in the corner.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. Good.
That's our Divine Warden's turn. Jiji, that's you.
All right. I will definitely sustain my floating flame. So he has to do the basic reflex again, if I believe I'm correct.
Yes. They roll a total of 19, which is a failure.
Barely, but it hits.
Full damage.
Oh, that's some good damage.
Whew.
17
That's some
points.
great damage. That's 17 points of fire damage.
I rolled 2 6 on 3d6, so
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
It is. You see by now there are so many cuts into this statue, it seems near death. You guys came prepared and know exactly what you're doing.
Seasoned adventurers.
I will still cast Facebolt as a cantrip.
Yeah?
And that should hopefully not have any cover from both Tipp and Giovanni standing in front of me. Because after all, it's a Facebolt. So Tipp and Giovanni wouldn't provide any cover to the creature.
Yep.
But
Can you
19
roll?
to hit.
A 19 would miss.
Oh, barely.
Barely.
Well, then that is my turn.
Following Jiji is going to be Tippler.
Alrighty. Seeing how hurt this thing is, I feel confident in my ability to finish it off. So I will... Do I want to weaken it before to make it easier to hit it, though? Now, on my first hit, I think I'm just going to go with a twin takedown as usual. The Warhammer roll, not good. 17 to hit, that's a miss. And then the fork is going to be, bigger roll. 26 to hit, that's a hit.
26 hits.
Nice, okay. Let's see if I can finish it off with the fork. That's 8 points of damage.
How do you want to do this?
Aha.
That was...
Very good. So I actually, the miss with the hammer was on purpose. It was a feint. I pretend I want to hit him with the hammer, on purposely miss, therefore create an opening and just stab him right in the chest with my fork.
As you do so, I would like everyone except for Sappho to please give me a will save as it explodes in a rupture of divine energy.
Sheesh. Okay.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. That's only a 19 for me, but I think I'll leave it. I'm not gonna hero point it.
And 23 total.
Perfect. Jiji and Giovanni, you both succeed Tippler, that is a fail. But none of you critically succeed or critically fail. This thing explodes, so you take some damage. Specifically, Tippler, in addition to damage, you become temporarily enfeebled and stupefied.
I should have hero pointed it. But okay. I feel like we're going home soon anyway, and I can just sleep it off.
For those of us who succeeded, it is going to be 1d6 void damage, which is 2.
Just,
and... Yeah, sorry?
I had a question. Is this auditory or visual effect?
It is only divine.
Interesting. Very
Indeed.
interesting. Not very demure.
And for Tippler specifically, it is going to be 2d6 void damage. Which is going to be a total of 6 for Tippler.
Alright. I
So
can take
we
it.
just
But
take
this thing...
2?
Yes, 2 for those who succeeded, 6 for Tippler. But that was it. You guys came prepared, annihilated this statue in moments. I'm gonna ask for a medicine roll from Tippler.
How much is he stupefied and enfeebled?
1 each, I guess?
That is exactly what,
Oh.
yeah, 1 each. But
Okay.
that is exactly essentially what you're rolling at.
Medicine roll. Well, with still a whopping +0, it'll be whatever that is.
You are feeling tired and a little confused, like your brain, like you honestly, you being in direct contact, being like melee with this creature makes the most sense of you kind of blocking and shielding the damage for everyone else or after you, behind you, as no one else is in melee from this creature. You feel tired and you feel confused and a little wobbly and a little dizzy, but you feel like it's something that has already started passing. You feel like if you're gonna rest for a bit, it's gonna be enough for it to go away. Probably around an hour.
An hour? Okay.
Do we notice Tipp like being a bit wobbly on his feet after the blast?
For sure. I would turn around to the party and like sort of hold my head a little bit, all wonky, and then just sit down where I'm standing. And it's like, I'm tired.
Why is this creature kind of handsome though? Not gonna lie.
no.
Like, damn, like if this guy was buy me a drink at the bar in the evening, then could have been an entirely different situation than what we had on our hands right
No.
there.
Because people do be peopling.
Yes. But yeah, Tipp essentially has told you he's feeling unwell at the moment.
I want to go home.
Did you get hit that bad, Tipp?
I don't know. I just feel tired. It's been a long day, really. I mean,
That
Like,
is
like
very true.
how tired?
Tipp's been getting smashed in the face by stuff all day. I feel like he deserves some rest.
Is the door up here that we wanted to go through locked?
It's closed, but if you try to open it, it opens easily.
Then I would cautiously try to open it.
Yeah. Do you want to look around before cautiously, or do you
Yeah,
want to just
I
do
want
it
to like
stealthily?
listen, see for light again,
Give me a perception roll, please, blind.
because that is. I mean, we could also go the long way around, but that would be the way to the exit.
It doesn't seem trapped.
Then I'll try to open it slowly, like first a crack, basically, to see if that
Yeah.
reacts to anything.
You open it a little bit, and it leads you, as you expected, back to the route you came from before, and do not see anything on the other side of the door, other than the already familiar hallway.
I have a question regarding Tipp's state. If Sappho would get the sense if one of her soothe spells would potentially help him, because it is not just healing, but it also gives +2 status bonus to save against mental effects. I mean, it has already happened, but I mean, maybe it'll help him just feel a little bit better.
I'm going to ask for either an additional medicine roll or a religion roll from either of you. You can both do that as well.
I'll try. So
I mean, I have major minuses on everything right now, so I'd rather not.
I'll try. I'm just gonna cast the soothe on you, so you also heal.
That's also nice, yeah.
For quite a lot.
Yep.
That actually gets me back up to full health at least.
And then I'll be doing both religion and medicine are zeros. Big fat zeros.
Oh, in that case, actually my religion is better still, because I'm still at +6 despite being stupefied and enfeebled.
I can tell you in advance that the soothe gave back the HP but did not remove the conditions. But if you want to get... Essentially, the medicine told you you're going to need a bit, around an hour for it to go away. But if you want to learn more about this condition, you can give me a religion check. More specifically for Sappho Bardic lore.
Amazing.
I would definitely, because I feel strange, and I know that usually after the amount of fighting I've done today, I shouldn't be as tired as I am. So I feel like I would reflect on how I'm feeling a bit more.
Perfect. You both come to the same conclusion. This creature was a divine warden. And when they died and they exploded in divine energy. The reason why you are essentially feeling bad at the moment is it's as if it's a small divine curse was casted upon you. But it's not a major one, so it will go away quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, this divine warden was serving or made to serve a deity, and this is as if you have been minorly cursed by that deity specifically. You don't believe you can make it go away by force, but it will go away on its own.
I would get back on my feet and sort of wiggle my head slightly to sort of try and shake it off a bit and say, I'll sleep it off. It'll be fine.
I think you just need to wait this off. I'm assuming it's one of the... I mean, we've found some other things for specific demon lords, and now I'm not sure if this is maybe from one of them, or maybe to somebody completely different. But yeah, I think you just need to walk it off, slowly, very slowly and carefully.
Well,
it's probably the psychological trauma of having to kill a beautiful, handsome creature. It's probably gonna be better in the morning.
Why is Giovanni simping for this creature?
No.
It's pretty hot creature.
I mean, it has a buff stone body, but it still has a demon head and bull horns and
Hey! Don't judge anyone on that particular scale.
Yeah,
okay?
we're starting to get into
to all of
here.
our players,
not shaming anyone. Just pointing it out to our
valid.
listeners.
You are valid. You are valid with your choices.
It's not kink shaming, it's kink asking why.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I guess as we're going to the exit slowly, I definitely want to give Tipp a hand and see that he's steady on his feet.
Mm-hmm. I gladly take it.
And basically just watch out if there's anything waiting for us or dangerous.
And I would just raise my non-existent eyebrows at Giovanni, and just sort of looking at it through narrow eyes, and it's just I just sort of mutter to myself, psychological trauma. Yeah, sure. And
the edges of the mushroom are raising a bit instead of an
exactly,
eyebrow.
like the edges of the hat, I guess, or
Like,
it's which
yes,
is not really a hat,
perfect.
but yeah, there's an actual name for it, right? Like the brim or
Cap.
the cap. Yes,
I
that's
think.
what I'm looking for. Yeah, sort of those, they raise a little bit in confusion, I guess this would be. like what is he on about? But yeah, lead the way,
Beautiful.
Jiji.
I guess I will. And I do
You're
stop in
walking-
front of that stone door that we
Yes,
talked about, and I want to point it out to the party.
And
absolutely.
Can we do that tomorrow?
I just wanted to show you, and like it seems, like DM correct me, but it seems locked as like it needs something to activate it. So if maybe we just leave it, we can come back for it.
Yeah, getting a closer look now that also your friends are kind of following to see it. This is definitely a like it's unmissable. No one will mistake this to be a wall. This looks like a door that has no handle, except for in the center of it you can match perfectly the shape of the beads that you found in one of the other rooms. So yes, your assumption here is exactly that. You probably have what you already need to open it. You don't have to do that today. You can do that tomorrow when you come back.
Perfect.
Sounds like a good plan.
So if I understand correctly, you guys are planning on leaving the catacomb and going back to the surface to rest for the night and maybe to convene with someone else to see what else is needed before you come back here either tomorrow or later on.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you stop on the way to tell Zodak he can go, or because he is waiting for you guys? So they essentially, if you tell them not to leave yet, they will wait here tomorrow as well.
Oh God, poor guy.
I know, right?
Oh, we're letting him know so that he can, be safe and all. So, and they said what Sappho would do, and if the rest doesn't want this, she would look at them very sad. Just with the saddest eyes.
You want to let him go, right?
Yes.
No, I agree. Like, let him find some rest and peace.
I'm too tired to bonk anyone else anyway, so may as well leave him.
Getting your beauty sleep every night is one of the most important things you could ever do anyways.
Yeah, for once I actually agree with that sentiment.
I guess this time I am leading the way to the caves.
But
with Tipp right next to me.
I'm close behind still. Like
So,
sort of
just
leaning
in
on
case,
I'm leaning on your shoulder.
Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself, Tipp. You already have so many wrinkles on the bottom side of like your cap and everything.
Hey, those are supposed to be there.
Those are not wrinkles.
Ah, my bad.
Those
Okay,
are
okay.
frills.
Love how Sappho is correcting, not Tipp.
I'm just too tired to discuss this right now.
That's
just
very fair.
I just nod in agreement. Yeah, you tell him, Sappho.
Beautiful. The reason effectively Zodak was waiting for you is because you settled on the fact that you're going to close the tunnel, that he's going to close it on the inside and you guys aren't going to close it on the outside. Do you still want to do that today, or are you going to do that next time you're here? Like, essentially, he was waiting because you said you're going to shut the tunnel closed so nothing can crawl up there.
Oh, yeah, we would. I mean, I think it would make sense to close it behind us.
How big is it?
We can always open it again, right?
It is, the opening itself is about 5 feet. Yeah, essentially, yes, you can always open it back. But the idea was to close the entrance to this cave. So if anything comes from below, they will not go up to the surface. So the idea was Zodak is going to shut it closed from the inside, and you're going to shut it closed from the outside to essentially make sure this is cut off so you cannot bother each other.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I would at least quickly close it and try to tell him also close it with some stones or whatever we find, like the planks from our side, and we can always come back and reinforce it the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess as I come to this corner, I whisper of Zodak, are you here?
Are you done?
Yeah.
Can I come out? Oh, okay. I'm coming out. Is that okay?
Yes, please come out. We're all quite tired. There were some monsters in those catacombs, so we're heading back. But we wanted to close that entrance still. So.
Oh, good. Are you all okay?
Yeah. I mean, we know each other. We keep each other safe, so.
Oh, like a family.
Somewhat, yeah.
That must be nice.
I mean,
Anyway,
we're trying to keep you safe as well from people up, on the surface who might not understand. So, and I hope you keep yourself safe when you're down there.
Yeah, please do.
I'll do my best. I'll find some friends I can maybe trust, like you guys have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can pile up dirt and help you close it from the inside. Is that gonna help?
Yes, that
Definitely.
would be
We'll
great.
get maybe like 1 or 2 like large rocks or some of these planks here to
Yes.
like
They're not
feed
my
them.
planks. You can take the planks.
Great. I turn around and look at probably Giovanni. He seems like the strongest.
I think Tipp is stronger.
I thought so too.
But Tipp is feeling a bit weak right now. So
Oh, fair enough.
right?
Yeah. Usually I would be stronger, but right now I don't want to.
Maybe you can do
carry
it
any
together,
more
or like
wood.
we can all help and chip in.
Okay. I'll pick up some planks too. And they start collecting some planks to be able to go help block the entrance from the other side.
I guess we all
Essentially,
pick up some things. Maybe we can together as a party get one like bigger rock or a stone if there's some loose boulders. I mean, in the Foundry map, I see some lying around, but I'm not sure if
yeah.
how movable those are.
Some of them would be big and heavy to pick up, but they would be movable for at least for your stronger members. It would be movable easily. Yeah, you all kind of start picking up rocks and planks and some dirt and head towards the tunnel where he showed you the entrance to where he would be going after to close the shut. They wait for you. They help you as much as they can. Essentially, you're trying to mix a combination of nature, or how nature works, how dirt works, and force. So you can each give me one of the following: either survival, athletics, or nature, to choose to what your skill is going to be used, what skill you are using to close this best.
I can't use crafting to craft a wall.
Yeah, crafting as well. Honestly,
Sorry,
crafting
thanks.
fits perfectly. No, that good point. Crafting works perfectly. Yeah, athletics, crafting, nature, survival, any of them would work fantastically.
Sappho is just going to use all of the skills she's learned so far. Like, yes, to get good back composure, this is how you use it. So athletics, because everything else I'm like not good at.
Are you trained in athletics?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
29
So-
for my athletics. Nice.
Same.
27 nature check. Very nice as well.
I have some number because I have a 9. It's so fitting.
Yeah.
I'm
Zolek
helping.
is also trying to
I'm
help.
definitely helping. I'm bringing like the smallest, tiniest rocks and bringing them over. Where it's like they're basically
Yes.
not useful, but it's I'm trying.
Oh, beautifully. Zolek is also trying to help as much as they can with survival from their end. They're not amazingly doing most of the job. Definitely Giovanni, Jiji, and Tipp are pulling the strings here. While Zolek and Sappho are kind of tapping the wall to try to help as much as they can, but none of them do a lot more. No harm, though. And you manage to bring up the wall.
I wanna wave goodbye to Zorak
I was
before the
gonna
wall
say,
fully closes.
if you want to do anything before the wall fully closes. So Jiji waves. I think they wave back to you. You see, like, their face is half ruined, but you can still see a semi-smile in their face as they tell you, thanks for not killing me because of me.
I mean, you didn't try killing us, so, seems fair. Stay safe.
Seems fair. Stay safe, you two. And they, like, wave to you as well as you guys are closing the tunnel.
Try to make some beautiful things happen down there.
He does hear the last sentence from Giovanni. And you guys start making your way out to the surface. Away from this bloody cave for a bit. Are you going back to talk to someone before, or are you immediately going back to your own places to rest for the night before you reconvene?
I don't remember what we told Father Santis. I mean, we told him we'd go back in to clear the place out. But I think we said we'd reconvene with him after?
You mentioned that once you're done clearing the place, you will tell them that they are done. And they also told you that you still have time until they want to do the communication with Noalia, because they're still waiting on their friend to help arrive here. And they are also waiting for full moon to be able to make that ritual. So you have some time. You have a couple of days until it's a full moon.
Yeah, I know we have a couple of days until then, but it's more sort of like if they're waiting for us to report back, and if we don't report back, they assume we died down there, kind of thing.
Oh,
right.
Since the place is right in the graveyard, going next, like just walking next to the cathedral to wave and show that you're alive is enough for them to know that you're not in danger.
All right, then I would
you don't
do
have
that
to
of like
reconvene tonight.
Basically notifying them we'd go home unless the party thinks otherwise.
No, makes sense.
Yep.
Perfect. So we're gonna do a little different kind of description. As you all come out, you walk next to Father Dantus in the cathedral just to show appearance that you're all okay and to make sure that they know that you guys are fine. I would like to know, what do you guys do to rest? Where do you go? Where is your resting place?
I think I would have a small hut on the edge of town. Sort of to be close to the forest, where I was also summoned into the mushroom, the vessel. And then, I don't know, like my house would be very simple, I think. Some basic herb racks, some stuff outside to dry some food, and a simple cot, just a simple bed, a little fireplace. I would probably put on the fireplace to rest and go to sleep. Despite, it's probably not even nighttime yet, is it?
It's somewhere around the later afternoon.
Yeah.
Because you spent the whole day in this cave. You
Exactly.
had the conversation with Father Xantus in the noon lunchtime. Then you spend a couple of hours down there. So yeah, it's around the late afternoon.
So
it's getting dark.
Despite not being my regular bedtime, I'm just straight up going to sleep, and I'll probably sleep until the morning.
Yeah. Tipp goes back to his place to rest.
Dreaming about being a druid instead of a ranger.
What do you all do? Other than Tipp, who went to sleep? I'm assuming you all spread out to your own places to rest because you're reconvening tomorrow.
I mean, Giovanni has a pretty nice place. He extends like an invitation for anyone who like wants to spend the night having a sleepover, sipping some wine and spilling some tea over at his place. So anyone who wants to come. Giovanni has like a pretty nice place a few minutes outside of town, where it's like a beautifully sculpted rose garden. I mean, you have to kind of like attract customers in some way, right? Like you have to have something to show if you're gonna be the most notorious gardener in all of Sandpoint. So Giovanni just has a not like super fancy, super expensive, but just like very nice and very tasteful, beautiful little gardening hut with like a beautiful garden around it outside of town.
Yeah. Do you also go back and rest, or do you go do something else?
Oh yeah, I mean, I apply like lotion to both my skin and my beard and my hair for like a few hours before going to sleep at the very least, and probably put some cucumbers on my eyelids, and, you know, just standard Giovanni stuff.
I love it.
Yeah, you also take your time. You go back to your place to rest, offering the invitation for whoever would like to join, if at all. What does Sappho and Jiji do?
Well, Sappho would also go back to, I imagine she has like a permanently booked room, or like where she has a permanent residency in the, not pub, tavern, that's the word. Tavern where she also sometimes holds performances, and is already, like, before going to bed, just writing down a lot of the notes, so she would be able to like stop the first thing in the morning to Brodert Quink that she would like to meet, to like already facilitate this, because she's so hyped about everything that has been found, and still has hopes that maybe somewhere down there, if they maybe find a secret tunnel, there might be some obscure poems of her favorite poet. So she's not giving up hope on that, but then will also go to bed and sleep.
Absolutely.
I think very
Which
similar for
leaves us with
Jiji. I imagine Jiji has, I guess, either a small like place to stay, or potentially even like a room in like a shared accommodation in like the cheaper part of town. Like goblins still do face some stigma, so either it's like a one-room place or something. Probably very chaotic. Lots of books lying around, alchemist ingredients and potions. And Jiji would just spend the rest of the evening like studying what the spells she used, the potions, and also some of the things they found, and just researching, and then eventually retiring for an early night, because I think we're all tired.
Did you all decide where you're reconvening tomorrow and when?
I guess we didn't spell it out, but I assumed we did.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would have spelled out of like, because just of Sappho's association with the Rune Watchers, of just, I know where he lives. If you come by in the morning, we can get also maybe have communal breakfast here in the tavern.
Oh, breakfast in the tavern sounds great.
And then we can I can lead you there, and I'll have my notes. I have the notes prepared and everything, so we'll be good to go directly.
So you want to start your day talking to Brodert Quink?
Yeah, grabbing breakfast in the tavern Faye stays at, and then meeting Brodert.
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect.
Makes sense.
That sounds great. You would all know that that Brodert Quint lives on the western side of town, right close to the shore. And the nearest building or ruin next to it would be the ruins of the old lighthouse. So in the morning, you all wake up, you all reconvene in the tavern where Sappho stays her time. Have a nice breakfast. You're all feeling a lot better. All of you get your long rests and your abilities back. Any effect that would have already lingered off would linger off by now. Do you talk about anything in breakfast as you wake up and reconvene, being refreshed now?
So, Sappho would... I mean, she invited everyone to the tavern, but would be hawking next to everyone just like, that they finish. Because everything, every single cell in her being is just itching to go to Quink, and she'll just, the whole thing is just like, look here, so I prepared the notes, and we'll go over the notes all the time. And hoping just that everyone finish their breakfast quickly. That they can directly march over on.
Tippler's Bane is really not a morning person. A morning mushroom, I should say. So he takes a sweet time. He's gonna have some tea first. Then he needs to digest that for a bit. And then he's gonna have a nibble and maybe a bit more. And eventually actually have proper breakfast.
We can take it also to go. It's no problem. You can also finish it on the way.
It's unhealthy.
If you want to.
It's unhealthy to rush with the food.
It's not rushing if it takes over an hour.
After Tipp is about like halfway finished with his breakfast, you see Giovanni finally shows up, but his makeup is looking fucking immaculate. Like it's looking so good, like he's painted for the gods. And you can also assume that's the reason why he took so long to arrive, and definitely came about like half an hour after the time we had set up in the previous day.
See, now that Giovanni's here, we have to wait for him to finish breakfast anyway.
Oh, why? We made a time.
No, I always have a light breakfast, girl. You know me. I don't need much.
After a while, Sappho gives in, knowing her party members. You take some time to finish your breakfast. And at some point, I think you all kind of see that if you don't go now, Sappho might explode. And you start packing up and making your way to the house of Rodent Quint.
I definitely grab a toast or something to go.
Yeah. It's not a far walk, as you're going from the tavern, which is quite close to the cathedral as well, all the way towards Brother Quint, which is quite close also to where Sappho spends her nights. And you stand before the door, knocking, just to make your announcement, as you hear from inside, "Oh, coming!" And two rushed little feet running as someone is at the door. But we're gonna meet that someone in our next session to see what they have to say to our party.
It's gonna be interesting. Let's hope it is indeed Brother Quink and not like some stranger that we have never met who will not be able to help us.
But you led us here.
I had to keep myself the entire bloody session from calling him Brother Twink. It was so hard.
God damn it.
So hard.
There was also bro dirt. It's like
I
what are you,
know.
a bro?
Yeah, exactly. I'm still
then-
wondering about Rip Nugget. Like that one is. That
Rip
one
Nugget
is
is
still
great.
bothering
But
me.
that fits. It's like a
But it's not a name.
goblin overboss.
Rip Nugget.
It's
I like it. It fits the character.
You know what?
Yeah, well,
When you see Rip Nugget, tell me if it still doesn't fit.
yeah, well, we'll see.
In my headcanon, Rib Nugget is just like literally a chicken nugget on 2 legs with googly eyes.
Or he's like the
Until
most
proven
ripped,
otherwise.
just the most
Yeah, that's
ripped
what I thought.
goblin. It's like it has like an 8-pack. Just total
Oh,
gym
that's
bro.
great, actually. I love it.
Dun, dun, dun. But it was very lovely. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
listening. See you guys next week.
See you then.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Red Sun Rising is made by Of Dice and Dinner, produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy. Red Sun Rising uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's fan content policy at paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Red Sun Rising is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. Original characters and content are the property of Dice and Dinner. Our podcast intro-outro theme is made by Frieda, Melando, and Shachar Bieber. Of Dice and Dinner is happy to be in touch, and our email is the best way to do so. That's ofdiceanddinnerpodcast@gmail.com.